What was once the Polk County Courthouse now serves as the Polk County History Center and houses the Historical Museum and Library. The museum serves Polk's community through special events, volunteer opportunities, and educational programs. More details are coming up next on Polk Place. Welcome to Polk Place. I'm your host, Tina Mann, and joining me in the studio today is Murtis Young, the Historic Preservation Manager at the History Center.
Hi, Tina.
Welcome.
Thank you.
So we are here to talk about August events. Hottest month of the year, we're going back to school. So what are we going to do for our young learners in August?
Well, you know, I always loved my corny little statement. It's August, it's hot, but history's hot too. So we're just going to have a good old hot time in the History Center for the month of August.
And it's lovely, air conditioned in there, and you can stay cool.
Right.
And then go across the street to get ice cream.
So History Time Tots will have a great little book to read. You know, they come into the History Center and they have their special little room in the Discovery Gallery, and we have a book for them to read. Either Mommy reads it to them or Cynthia Alley, our Curator of Education, reads the book, and then they always have an activity. I love it though. The book is Macy Goes to Preschool, and it is a sweet little book about a Macy First Experiences book. It's one of the first experiences book, and the author is Lucy Cousins. So they'll be learning about Macy going to preschool and make it fun and exciting for their own experience that's about to come about.
Speaking of schools, the craft for August is what?
Precious as can be. We have a school building for the children, the little young learners, to color, and then they create an opening in the door, and they either bring their own photo in and they put their photo in. They can insert it at the doors, or they can draw, they can do a self-portrait, but it gives them an opportunity to place their little faces in the school building.
Okay, I've seen it, and it's just the cutest little thing. I mean, you just open up the little double doors, and there you are. So it's really cute, and I love how you guys always have fun activities for them to do, and of course, just the museum in general is a fun place for them to visit. So, and I did notice that there was a little bit of a schedule change where you guys used to do them at 2 different times, and now they're on like Saturday, August 3rd and Tuesday, August 13th, but they're both at 10 o'clock in the morning now.
They are. We discovered, you know, it's nice when you are in a learning environment that you continue to learn things. 2 o'clock in the afternoon is nap time.
Yes.
So we discovered that 10 o'clock works better for our little tots.
Oh, how I would love to be a 3 or 4-year-old and be able to take a nap at 2 o'clock every afternoon. I would be so much more productive. So there's also going to be a Heritage Forum meeting coming up on August 14th. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
You know, I'm happy to have an opportunity to talk about the Heritage Forum. This is an opportunity for people around the county who are interested in or who work in the field of history or preservation to come together, and we talk about you know, programs that we're developing or issues that we might want to help each other out on, like collections management or crafting new exhibits. And it is it's an informal group of people, and the idea is to support each other. Cross-promotion when we have things going on. It's a large county, and we are fortunate to have a significant number of heritage and historical sites around the county, including our libraries. And you'll recall that it was the Heritage Forum that came together. We brought the Heritage Forum together and collected information from all of these affinity partners around the county, and that's when we created the History and Heritage Trail in 2012. And it was such a, I think, a significantly important project that we decided this is a good idea. Working together is essentially valuable to, you know, the betterment of all of our missions. So we continue to work together, and we meet 4 times a year, usually at the History Center, but occasionally we will host a meeting off-site. Gives us an opportunity to visit with one of our other partners, and we send out a notice. It's very easy to participate. You just contact the History Center, tell us you'd like to be one of the Heritage Forum partners, and we put you on the list and invite you to participate.
Right, and you guys continue to add to the Heritage Trail, and you've further evolved it by adding the citrus label tour, and you know it's a good thing. So people interested in history should definitely contact you on that. And speaking of historical sites, your very own History Center is one of the most historical sites here in Polk County, and they have an opportunity to tour it every month.
It is, and they do, and we love it. And it's every month, you know, it's a tour. It lasts for a little bit over an hour. We start about 11 o'clock in the rotunda, and each month, in addition to the regular information that is on the regular tours, we add a feature. In August, the feature is going to be the beloved clock. The clock has its own story. It has several stories. And the nice thing about it, although we don't have the opportunity to take people up into the clock area, we do have photos of that area. And so we'll share those photos and talk about the clock and the different phases, the different generations that the clock went through and as it is today.
Right, and that just fascinates me because it's such an architectural feature. I mean, you can see it from just miles around. I mean, you can see the dome and the clock, and it's pretty intricate. So, I mean, that'll be a really cool thing. So that's on the third Saturday, which is August 17th this month.
Mm-hmm. Yes, correct.
And then right after that is the next Out of the Archives series on August 20th. So let us know what we're going to expect.
Let me say this about that. We started the Out of the Archives program in this year, in 2019, and it was one of those around the table, what can we do that's a little bit new and, you know, give everybody an opportunity to see sort of behind the scenes at the museum. So the team came up with the idea of featuring Out of the Archives. It has been such great fun. We have had such fun. So in August, Maria Tripp, our curator of collections, is going to display items from the D room. Well, goodness gracious, what does that mean? The collections are stored in different areas in the archival area, and they're just labeled A, B, C, D. The D room is the room that has all the large items. We have Victorian sofas. That's the area where we have the entire medical office or the dental office stored. We have Spessard Holland's very special chair. We have just so many items in there that just otherwise they wouldn't probably most likely not be on display just because of the size of them,
right.
And they may not have a particular fit to the theme. So we're going to bring all those items out and give everybody a chance to see some of those things that live in the D room.
And that's an important thing to note, is that you only have so much display space at the museum. So, I mean, you try to, you know, circulate out exhibits and things like that, but there are so many things that have been donated to you and given to you that you simply don't have a place for yet. And, you know, I love this series because, like, I finally got my question asked as to what that electric chair looking thing was, which was apparently an old hair curler, to like perm machine that they used to use. And I thank God that nobody ever tried to use that on me because it was scary. But it's just, it's so funny to me how like you go back and you're like, what on earth is that? And some things that you couldn't even begin to fathom what they are. So right. It was a great idea, and it's been a really fun series so far, so people definitely don't want to miss out on that. Another thing they don't want to miss out on, if anybody is interested in actually beginning genealogical research, there's going to be a workshop coming up that can show them where to start, because it can often be quite overwhelming.
This is exciting. We are going to, August 31st, from 10 o'clock till 11:30 a.m. in the library, we are going to be hosting Drew Smith, who is actually, he's an expert in the field of genealogy. He is from the University of South Florida Library and has done extensive work in genealogical research, is a published author, and we are very fortunate to have him come join us in Polk County and carry us, or take us through a workshop. And you know, he'll talk about the new tool of right. testing is DNA, or genealogical research is DNA testing. So he will talk about that and how to use that particular tool and resource as an opportunity to continue and really dig a little deeper into your genealogical research.
Right, and that's important because there's so many out there now. I mean, I know on Black Friday there was like genealogical genealogy test kits all over the place. Like for, you can get it for so much. And I know I've had several of my friends who have done the testing, like the different ones, and it's amazing how different results can be. So it's going to be helpful to actually have an expert there to talk to, and he actually has written some books as well.
He has. He's authored several. The most recent is Organize Your Genealogy, and it's the strategies and solutions for every researcher, and it just talks about the issue you just pointed out. I have this, so what? And so he helps you answer the so what questions, and sometimes you have to realize that the information may or may not be exact to your research. So it is great that we have a resource like Drew to come and visit with us and share.
It gives you a starting point, but then you don't know where to go. So,
correct.
And that's where not only this workshop, but just the genealogical library in general, they can help you know where to go next.
Correct.
So I mean, it's always a good resource that even if if they can't attend this, that they can stop in at any point, that when you're open, Tuesday through Saturday, and they can come in and do their own research, and they'll help them and everything. So that's really important. So also, we want to start talking about a couple of things, because there's a couple of big things coming, one in September and then one next year. So let's talk about what's coming in September first.
I am so excited about this particular program. We are going to feature a workshop about shape note music. Now, I've only in the last year learned about this very interesting genre of music celebration, worship music, sacred music. And it comes to us through an artifact that we have in the exhibit, and it is a little replica of the Bethlehem Primitive Baptist Church that is still in Shikora. And the replica, the little church the church has been rebuilt, restored. The little replica represents the first church. But it is a very interesting story about early worship in Polk County, late 1800s. So this shape note music was the type of music that worshipers participated in their worship service. And it particularly features shapes that represent notes. And they're shapes like circles, squares, rectangles. They're just shapes. They're only 4. They follow 4 particular notes. And there's a leader that leads the choir. The choir sits in a square, and they sing essentially to each other, harmonize together. It is just such a fascinating story about our early history, because it's representative of an early church, representative, I think, of early culture in Polk County, and helps to tell the story of the emergence of Polk County as a center of cultural entertainment. So we will have in September a workshop. We actually will feature some of the shape note music choirs that still exist. They gather frequently and practice their music and perform this type of music. They perform particularly on the 5th Sunday of the 5th Sunday of the months of the year. So September happens to have a 5th Sunday. So we're going to take the 5th or the Saturday preceding the 5th Sunday to feature a workshop about shape note music at the History Center. And a really interesting thing about, I just sometimes am amazed at the items that find their way to the History Center. We happen to have in our collection a sacred harp hymnal, and this is the hymnal that was used to sing and perform. I guess it's not a performance, I guess it's worship in this particular style. So in September, watch for that, our shape note music workshop.
Right. We mentioned it last month just a little bit, and you guys were still like researching and learning about it at that point. But as a result of that show, I actually went and did some research myself and watched a little documentary on it, and it really is a fascinating story. So to be able to be there and ask questions and, listen to this Lunch and Learn, I can say that it is definitely an interesting topic. Like, I had no idea. I had never heard of it in my life, and I listened to a little bit of it, and it's beautiful and haunting at the same time. It's a little It's a little odd. It's not like what you would expect from traditional, like normal music now, but it's just, there's something about it that just resonates with you. So, I mean, it's definitely something that people want to check out. And I know next year, 2020, is a very important marker in women's history, and we are going to be in Polk County celebrating it. So why don't you give us a little bit of a preview about the committees that has formed and how people can actually provide their input?
Well, yes, it's a very exciting year, 2020. It's a very significant election year, but it is also the centennial of the ratification of the 19th Amendment to the Constitution, which gave women the right to vote. We have been busy putting together a coalition to commemorate that event in history. So we are pulling information from the community, and this is an invitation to anybody, any of our organizations who might be interested in participating in this commemoration next year. We hope it to be a year-long commemoration. To join us, contact the History Center with ideas or any kinds of information that you may have in there. So we're going to start the year with a very, very interesting reenactment of the trial of Susan B. Anthony, and that will occur at the History Center. And the collaborative partners on that program are the League of Women Voters, Harrison School of the Arts, and the History Center. We will go from there with exhibit openings, a suffrage heritage trail over in Winter Haven,
really?
And that's a very interesting development, and just several things throughout the year to commemorate that event. It's very, very interesting. The stories, as we've been doing the research, have given us the opportunity to meet some very interesting ladies who had significant influence right here in Polk County, or our regional partners in Hillsborough County. So it'll be a year-long commemoration of the centennial celebration of the 19th Amendment, the suffrage movement.
That's really exciting, and I know as this progresses, we'll be able to talk about a little bit about this each month to find out what's new and what's occurred. And you know, people need to contact them if they have artifacts, or if they have any kind of stories or ideas or anything like that, because it's such, I mean, especially for you and I, is we as women, I mean, we take for granted the right to vote sometimes. We forget that, you know, our grandmothers, great-grandmothers, depending on who they were or their ages, weren't allowed to vote. They didn't have a voice. So it's a very special celebration, and people are not going to want to miss that.
We also have discovered, and it's very interesting, when you start digging into newspaper articles and reading about history like the suffrage movement, it's also interesting because we've seen articles and forums from the other side. Men were concerned. They weren't sure what was going to happen.
Right.
And so it's really fun that we have found some articles and some comments and just genuine concerns that we'll be able to share in the exhibit that we'll be curating. So it'll be a great year. So please join us if you want to be a part of that commemoration.
I just love it. I love all you do here, and we appreciate you coming on and enlightening us about all of it.
Why, thank you.
Polk County has a rich history and heritage, and the Polk County History Center is continuously thinking of new ways to help Polk residents experience that history. The museum's collection includes natural and cultural objects related to Polk and the greater Central Florida area that represent our history from pre-Columbian to present-day eras. The artifacts on display at the museum represent individuals, cultural groups, and events significant to the region. Located at 100 East Main Street in Bartow, the History Center is open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday. For more information about exhibits and events, you can check them out on the web at polkhistorycenter.org or give them a call at 863-534-4386.